6-year-old silly Billy had tousled light brown hair and bright eyes. He always wore mismatched socks, a testament to his playful nature. Billy was always up to something, a whirlwind of childish energy. His grumpy black cat, Sulky, observed him with an unimpressed glare. Sulky seemed perpetually annoyed by Billy's antics. One sunny afternoon, Billy decided he wanted to catch a cloud. He believed he could bring a cloud home as a pet. Armed with imagination, he crafted a makeshift net. The net was made from sticks and string, tied haphazardly together. He ventured into his backyard, ready for his cloud-catching adventure. Sulky reluctantly trailed behind, a shadow of feline disapproval. Billy leaped and swiped at the fluffy white shapes. The clouds drifted lazily overhead, seemingly out of reach. His initial attempts were failures, but he was undeterred. Billy adjusted his net, aiming higher with renewed determination. He jumped, reaching for the elusive clouds. His playful laughter echoed through the garden, light and carefree. He imagined snuggling with a soft, fluffy cloud. He pictured feeding it sunshine and rainwater. He aimed the net again, his brow furrowed in concentration. Sulky yawned, unimpressed by the spectacle. The cat settled down in a patch of sunlight. Billy ignored Sulky's disdain, focused on his task. He envisioned showing his cloud pet to all his friends. They would be amazed by his incredible catch. He leaped again, the net extended above his head. The clouds seemed to dance just out of his reach. He giggled, enjoying the challenge of the chase. The sun warmed his face as he continued his pursuit. He imagined the clouds smelling like fresh rain and sunshine. He adjusted the string on his net, tightening the weave. He was determined to succeed, no matter how difficult. Sulky flicked his tail, a sign of mild irritation. Billy paid no attention, his eyes fixed on the clouds. He imagined building a special house for his cloud pet. It would be filled with soft pillows and gentle breezes. He jumped higher, reaching for a particularly fluffy cloud. He could almost feel the cloud's soft texture. He laughed again, his voice filled with excitement. The clouds continued to drift, seemingly mocking his efforts. He refused to give up, his determination unwavering. He adjusted his grip on the net, preparing for another leap. He imagined teaching his cloud pet tricks. It would be the most amazing pet in the world. He ran across the yard, gaining momentum for his jump. He leaped into the air, the net outstretched. He stretched as high as he could, his fingers tingling. He imagined the cloud giggling as he caught it. He smiled, picturing the adventures they would have together. He landed softly, ready to try again. Sulky watched him, a hint of amusement in his eyes. Billy prepared for his next attempt, undeterred. He would catch a cloud, no matter what it took. The sun shone brightly, encouraging his efforts. I took a deep breath, focusing his energy. He imagined the cloud becoming his best friend. He would name it Fluffy or Nimbus. He smiled at the thought, his heart filled with joy. He was ready to catch his cloud and bring it home. His backyard adventure was just beginning. Billy adjusted his net, aiming higher, determined to capture a cloud as a pet. Suddenly, the makeshift net snagged on something heavy above him. Billy tugged hard, expecting a handful of fluffy vapor in his grasp. Instead, the sunny sky began to darken with alarming speed and intensity. A low, guttural rumble echoed in the distance, growing louder each second. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves and bending the tree branches wildly. Sulky, sensing the change, arched his back, his fur standing on end. He hissed menacingly at the swirling clouds above, a warning sign. To Billy's astonishment, he had accidentally trapped the weather itself. The clouds he had been trying to catch were now swirling around him. They grew darker and angrier, forming a menacing vortex above. Rain began to fall, first as a drizzle, then as a torrential downpour. The wind howled through the trees, creating a deafening roar. Billy realized the gravity of his mistake. This was no longer a game. He had to find a way to release the weather before it was too late. His silly cloud-catching game had turned into a serious storm. Sulky was no help at all, just glared with his usual grumpy look. Billy looked at the net, now straining under the weight of the storm. He tried to pull it down, but the wind resisted with incredible force. The rain plastered his hair to his forehead, blurring his vision. He stumbled backward, nearly tripping over Sulky, who hissed again. "I didn't mean to do this," Billy shouted over the howling wind. He looked around frantically, searching for a solution to his problem. Maybe if he cut the string, the weather would be released. But where could he find something sharp enough to cut through it? He patted his pockets, finding only a few small pebbles and a candy wrapper. Suddenly, he remembered his small, dull, plastic toy knife. It was in his toy chest inside the house. But could he get there? The wind and rain were making it almost impossible to move. He took a deep breath and started to fight his way toward the back door. Sulky, surprisingly, began to follow him, staying close to his heels. Each step was a struggle against the force of the storm. He finally reached the back door, soaked to the bone and shivering. He fumbled with the doorknob, his hands numb with cold. He burst into the house, dripping water everywhere, Sulky right behind. His mom would be mad about the mess, but he had no time to worry. He raced to his room, ignoring the sound of his mom calling his name. He threw open his toy chest, searching frantically for the plastic knife. He found it buried under a pile of stuffed animals and toy cars. He grabbed it and raced back outside. outside, Sulky still following closely. The storm seemed even worse than before, the wind howling louder. He struggled back to the net, the plastic knife clutched in his hand. He began sawing at the string, but the dull blade barely made a dent. He sawed harder, his arms aching, his fingers numb with cold. Finally, after what seemed like forever, the string began to fray. With one final effort, he sawed through the last strand of string. The net fell to the ground, and the swirling clouds began to dissipate. The rain slowed to a drizzle, and the wind began to die down. A patch of blue sky appeared, a welcome sight after the storm. Billy watched as the clouds drifted away, no longer angry or menacing. He had released the weather, and the storm was finally over. He looked down at Sulky, who was now grooming himself calmly. Maybe catching clouds wasn't such a good idea after all, he thought. He picked up the net and the plastic knife, feeling a bit foolish. He went back inside, leaving the remnants of the storm behind him. His mom was waiting for him, a stern look on her face. "Billy, what were you doing outside in that storm?" she asked. Billy looked at the floor, feeling guilty and ashamed. "I was just trying to catch a cloud," he mumbled softly. His mom sighed, but then a small smile appeared on her face.